So the last of today's men's quarterfinals. Harry Smith is the referee in charge. The game is decided with the best of 9 sets.
It's a real bear pit atmosphere, fans right up by the side of the stage, bellowing their support for these two men who've been friends for an awful long time. Couldn't really split them in terms of who should be the favourite. I can't, so I had a little look to see how they had it, and very, very narrowly the favourite for this is the 2015 champion Scott Mitchell. So Farmy Army and Scott, they say, are going to be the celebrations tonight. Scott Waites, though, as you say, he's found a way to win his matches so far against Gary Stone and then against Ryan Hogarth.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First set, first leg. It is Scott Mitchell to throw
made a mistake
first.
there.
Game on.
Scott Waites, of course, winning against Wesley Harms in the last round, having defeated the legend in the first round, Wolfie. That's what comes of making a few notes when you're watching another match.
Not a bad way to start the match.
177.
Great start.
Well, I hope Harry Smith has got on-tone tonsils and voice box tonight, because he's going to need a lot of energy to keep up with these two.
Could be an epic match, this one. It really could be very good indeed.
80.
Both of them fancy it. Both of them have a lot of respect for the other's ability, and both of them are used to the big pressure cooker atmosphere of a big match like this, looking for a place in the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's all well and good having respect for each other, but you really do have to throw that out the window when the game starts. You've got to stay within your own bubble and do your own thing. And sometimes in that bubble you've got to respond to situations
60.
where you have opportunities, and that's exactly what Suzuki's just done to make the final.
The Welshman Wayne Warren awaits in the last four. That match tomorrow. Wayne Warren accounting for Chris Landman earlier on.
140.
He's on a finish. What can Waites do? How can he respond?
A bad deflection, but
81.
a really good recovery.
Scott, you require 100.
2-darter for Mitchell. He'll stay on the 60. He's not a tops kind of guy. Double 10.
Ooh, raised the wire. Right, Waites. 103.
Scott, you require 103.
Good dart. 43 remaining. Double 16 now.
87.
He's throwing with confidence, isn't he? Pushing Mitchell
Scott,
all the way in this
20.
opening leg.
Yeah, first leg to Mitchell, then on throw.
Scott Mitchell. Second leg,
Really good
Scott
start.
Waites to throw first.
From the chairman of the Farmy Army.
16 darter with Waites breathing down his neck.
Is he the chairman or is he something else?
60.
I mean, you started the Farmy Army, John, so you'll have to answer this.
I don't
Brigadier?
know. It's probably a question for the man himself. Dorset farmer, of course.
64.
Son Sam at home holding the fort, while Dad is here trying to win his second world title.
96.
It's good to see kids here on Friday night enjoying the action. I'm sure Katie's in the crowd as well. Scott's daughter.
100.
Very proud of her dad.
You can guarantee that. And Sharon, his wife.
Scott looking to make the final again,
100.
like he did last year. Came up short against Glen Durrant to get a third World Championship. Third World Championship, which Glenn got for himself. But one thing that we have sewn up this evening already
100.
is that we are guaranteed to have a name added to the list of multiple venue world champions, because Suzuki versus Ashton means that one of those ladies will join that list, and it might be joined by one of these.
First maximum for Scott Waits. Now that's a game where you need to keep a still head, isn't it? And darts is another one usually.
99.
Yeah, I like the switch from Scott there, trying to leave 100 again.
65.
But Waits will go for the bull here, hoping to get the 25. Well, now it's 56. Does like double 18, and he's left it. Oh, really nice shot from Scott Waits.
Second leg, Scott Waits.
Good hold of throw.
Third leg, it is Scott Mitchell to throw first. Game on.
Difficult task for Harry Smith tonight, because usually when you say who throws first, you use the first name, but because they share that first name, he's got to say the full name.
100.
Tests his powers of concentration, doesn't it?
Good referee, Harry. First year doing it, and he's done a fine job.
45.
A little bit frustrating there. Scott Waits. Team Scotty Dog. I wonder who collected the toy dog and whether it actually finds its way
96.
back to Big Scott, or whether he comes down here with a whole travelling kennel.
Well, they've all got microchips in, John,
Of course,
so
that's
they can all be identified.
modern way with dogs nowadays, isn't it? I suppose I should know that since I've got one.
I do like the cuddly toy dog that he takes on stage these days. I wasn't really a fan of the invisible dog when he had the lead and he'd go on the stage with that.
No, you like the real thing.
100.
Bring my German Shepherd dog down next year, and he can get really kick on a level.
Cracking idea. Mitchell on 204 looking for a max to leave double 12. Ooh, didn't
140.
get it, but he wasn't far away. There's Joe Cheney still here.
Joe will not be having a dry January, I can guarantee that. He really enjoys staying on here, irrespective of how he goes in his match. He was a fairly early exit, but he's in here watching just about every match since. Double 8. Double 4. Good dart. Hold the throw. All going with darts so far.
Fourth
Quality
leg,
start
Scott
to this
Waits
one.
to throw first.
Toe-to-toe
Game
stuff.
on.
Both players saying to the other, can you break me early?
Well, sometimes you look at a match and think, well, there's a
100.
possibility of somebody just bludgeoning the other. You looked at this one and you thought, this is one which could be keeping us here for a fair old time.
Yeah, I hope you guys aren't doing anything for a couple of hours.
100.
I know what we're doing, John.
Well, I'm going to commentate on the darts. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm going to do the same. I've been watching Scott Waits for many seasons
99.
now, and I'm still trying to figure out the angle of entry of his dart. What's better for him to get the darts underneath or over the top? He's one of those rare players who has the ability to do both. Scott definitely likes to sneak them
100.
underneath.
He had a real problem, you know, with his darts sticking in the board. He had so many bounce outs in his previous match, well, both matches actually, against Martin Wolfe and against Wesley Harms. Darts on the floor,
100.
and he tried to analyse it with himself and his mates, and they've looked at it and they reckon that the problem might have been not the board but in the flight, and as a result he's playing with different flights here to what he was using in the first round and in the previous round.
Yeah, it looks like he's using a slightly smaller one to try and get a bit of extra speed through the air. If you use the bigger flight, you've got a bit more drag, and it doesn't hit the board with as much acceleration.
95.
I can say they're the exact same flights that he used 12 months ago when he made the final.
Dull technical stuff for some people, but for those of you who throw a dart, I know you like to hear that sort of thing. This is good from Scott Mitchell.
145.
I like the switch, because if he gets to 25, he guarantees a two-darter
107.
with a single and tops, and Waits has to hit this now. He can't. And Mitchell will have 56 for the set.
So quickly
39.
the advantage can come. One
Scott,
missed
you require
dart and
56.
Scott Waits looks a little disconsolate, as though facing up to what he thinks might be inevitable tops. Yes, and so it is. And Scott Mitchell takes the opening
Second set,
set.
first leg. It is Scott Waits.
And that was an impressive way to polish it
Game
off. What a good leg.
How relaxed is Scott Mitchell? That was a set dart to take the lead. He goes back to the drinks table, and the first thing he does,
59.
huge smile just over to his part of the VIP area. He's so relaxed with this challenge.
Well, do you know, Paul, I mean, without being over dramatic and sombre about this, he's had an awful lot of things going on in his life in the last year or so, deaths in the family, and that kind of puts everything into perspective. And I think he knows that win or lose, much as he wants to be the champion, it is at the end of the day just a game of darts. Great darts there from Scott Waits.
Yeah, very well said, John. Oh, Scott Mitchell in response.
Fabulous. Back-to-back 180s. Like two heavyweight prize fighters slugging it out.
Yeah, we'll have a few more sets of this, please. Very entertaining
56.
stuff.
Well, he's on 181, but he's got 6 darts on here for an immediate break in the second set.
Well, Scott Mitchell, for me, has looked as comfortable on this stage as anybody.
43.
He was under so much pressure in his first game against Leighton Bennett. Came through that with somewhat ease. But now, Waits, looking for the 174.
38.
He's done well to approach his 2 darter
Scott, you require
from that position.
38.
138, it can be done. Mitchell, big ask, can't be done now. And Scott Waits with that 138 really extricated himself from a pretty sticky situation.
98.
And now 68.
Scott, you require
After all
68.
this, to hold throw.
Treble 12 for double 16. Wonderful.
Yes, that's game shot on the first
14
leg.
darter.
Scott Waits.
Nicely done,
Second
Scott
leg,
Waits.
Scott Mitchell to throw first. Game on.
You don't see many players go that way for 68, but I love that way. If you like double 16, that is the only target you go
60.
for on 68. Because if you get the single 12 and you like double 18 like Scott does, you just graduate to the right, 12, 20, double 18, all in a line.
61.
Well, he's come from behind in both his matches so far, Scott Waits, and has managed to win. Wolfie made a terrific start in that first round match. Wesley Harms also was ahead.
41.
And he's trailing Scott Mitchell, but he won't panic, no way.
Yeah, good averages so far, mid to high 90s. And the first 9, kind of misleading at this point. I'm sure that they will climb,
140.
but the overall's quite impressive at this point.
There's the doubles, 2 out of 3 Waits, 3 out of 5 Mitchell.
55.
Well, interestingly, those double stats are exactly the same as Bo Greaves and Suzuki after one set. Exactly the same numbers.
Well, it's a rumbustious atmosphere, to say the least.
100.
The old days of best of order game on, forget it. It's stand up if you love the darts.
It's definitely Friday night, isn't it, John? Well, both of these guys have played at the Grand Slam, which is a little bit noisy. So maybe it's a sign for Scott Waits, because he has won that tournament before.
With a fantastically noisy
100.
celebration which went on into the early hours after he did so.
And he did,
Kind of when I got to know the bloke.
and he did that coming from behind. 8-0 down
Against
James Wade.
60.
Wadey, yeah.
Scott, you require 100.
Well, talking to his great mate who travels with him, Dave, and he was saying, you know, Scott has a way, finds a way.
60.
And all his opponents, many of them over the years, both sides of the divide, PDC and BDO, know that he is a danger man.
You can tell that it's a little bit hotter in here
81.
tonight because the brow of
Scott, you
Mitchell
require 40.
is a little bit glossy.
Tops then.
Yes, that's
Good
game
dance.
shot on their second leg. Scott Waits.
Second leg goes to
Third
Scott
leg is
Waits.
Scott Waits to throw
And now
first.
that was a break of throw, so he has the darts. Scott Mitchell needs reminding. Scott Waits has the
Game
darts
on.
and is poised to win the set. He's stifling a bit of a grin. I know what I'm doing if you don't.
That happens now and again. Sometimes you just approach the hockey thinking you're going
99.
first. But even the referee has a wry smile as if to say, we've all been there. Well, the good thing about having a break after 3
95.
sets is that someone will hold the lead. Will it be level after 6 sets maybe? And there'll be a break after 8 as well. But Scott Waits is finding a way at the moment, and a beautiful 180 for him.
180!
Committed and passionate crowd. They'll have their favourites. Few have come down from Yorkshire. There's a fair
60.
few come up from Dorset as well. And there's 1 or 2 who've been here for a fair time who've come from other places.
Well, you were definitely getting value for your tickets
45.
this evening with the lineup. Jim Williams was very good, even though he wasn't that impressed with his performance. He's through, and Suzuki has set up that blockbuster final with Ashton.
Another one, is it? Fill it up. Not this time.
140.
I couldn't even finish from 3-4-6. Max leaves 1-6-6. But if Waits makes a mistake, Mitchell will be there. A mistake that probably isn't coming now. We'll have to switch to 19s to leave tops.
99.
So 206 Mitchell. Waits poised to win the second set, it would seem, but this is putting a different complexion on it. What about that for putting pressure on 78?
Trying to bring the noise and put Scott Waits off the 78. Ordinarily it would have been the treble 18, but he wanted the 180. Double 12 for the set for Waits. Fabulous from the Yorkshireman.
Great way to respond to that maximum of 14 darter, and it squares it up at 1 apiece. What a good game, they're enjoying it, look. Smiles all round.
Game on.
Scott Waits, I think, jokingly went up there as much as to say, I'll start first.
What do you reckon, John? 2 sets down, 7 to go.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know when it started. I had a hunch, and I think if you'd sort of, I don't know, really backed me into a corner, I'd possibly have slightly edged to Scott Waits, but really with no confidence whatsoever, because big Scott Mitchell's thrown terrifically well here this week. Look at this though, 140 Mitchell, 180 the response from Waits.
Magnificent darts. Mitchell just looks so at ease right now. Both sets
85.
going with throw, and that's 78 out to finish that set from Waits was very symptomatic of what he does. But
what averages? 100.47 Waits. Mitchell not far short
96.
of 97, and I wouldn't be surprised if it rose from there. They are loving their darts, standing and singing, and I'm sure that just about every serious darter in the country will have their eyes on this one.
100.
Absolutely right. If you're watching another sport as well as this one, well, more fool you. This is all you need.
58.
58 leave 167.
That was where he gave the little dummy as much as to say, do you want me to start? Chuckles all round.
I don't mind that little exchange at the end of the set. As soon as the set starts, it's back in the focus mode.
85. Scott, you require 167.
Well, it can be done. Mitchell on throw. Not now, though. Mitchell will return needing 91. Scott
60.
can't find the treble that he wanted.
Scott, you require 91.
Now, how's he feeling? Is he feeling aggressive looking at the 51? Goes for the insurance policy shot on 25. Doesn't get it. But he does get the 57 for double 12.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
quality
game shot,
recovery
the first leg
from the
Scott
Dorset
Mitchell.
captain. Fantastic.
Second leg, it is Scott Waits to throw first.
Terrific
Game
work.
on.
Terrific work. Waits then on throw now. How's he going to respond?
100.
And Scott's very proud of the fact that he's been England captain as well, joining the likes of Wolfie Adams, John Lowe, Tony O'Shea.
85.
Great names that have captained their country.
Good double stats. Waits 4 out of 5, 80%. And Mitchell 4 out of 6,
60.
67%.
Just brilliant. 2 and a bit sets in. They're barely missing doubles. And they know they're not. And their opponents know they're not.
4-2, Waits,
60.
Mitchell on the 180s, but nothing between them really statistically, as you'd expect, because nothing between them in the match.
100.
Well, Glenn Durrant recently lost his first World Championship match in 1,451 days.
He'll be watching.
The person who beat him in his previous loss was Scott Waits at the quarter-final stage.
85.
That game was a classic.
Oh, that's a bit scary, isn't it? Goodness me. Oh, okay. Words fail me.
100.
It's like wiggling your ears.
I can do that.
Oh no, don't start doing that. I'm trying to concentrate on the darts.
A 141 for Waits when he returns. He'll take 105 and a double 18 because he's got time on his side.
45. Scott, you require 141.
Big conversation going on at the back of the auditorium there. They want to be watching the darts, never mind having no good old chin wag.
Yeah, blinking you missed stuff here because Scott
100.
never really hangs around. He's sneakily quick.
And he sneaked down to 41 on throw, looking to square up this third set. Break at the end of this one, so who's going to be
140.
leading when they leave the stage?
Scott,
Great darts from
41.
Mitchell.
Scott's been so straight in this leg. 4 tons and a 60, 9 for double 16.
Yes,
For a
that's
really
game shot, the
clinical
second leg.
17 dart leg to equalise in
Third
set
leg,
3.
Scott Mitchell to throw first.
Didn't make
Game on.
many mistakes in that leg at all.
So 1-1.
100.
If you notice that Mitchell throw next time round, he resets himself after every dart. He almost grows taller before he throws. Just leans over a couple of inches and then resets himself, but waits again, maxing up.
Hammering those 180s. Fabulous response.
Now, the 2 words that come to mind about this game right now is dust up. This is just a quality game.
45.
Seen that jerky follow through from Scott over the course of his career. He has had problems with his right shoulder.
Yeah, at one stage he had to back away from the sport for a while, didn't he?
He had to have some medical attention.
Surgery, I think.
60.
I think it was a bit of the old problem which affects people who have a repetitive action, such as you have in darts. It's the old rotator cuff, isn't it? Which is often the problem.
That's it. It's the same for baseball pitchers and cricketers who do a lot of throwing, the fielders and the bowlers. Mitchell only
60.
scores 60, so this is a chance for Waits. 2 trebles here and he will be a favourite for the leg. Has to switch. Will stay. Oh, wonderful stuff.
134.
Great darts.
Scott, you require 141.
Be a sniff of an opportunity for a break here if Mitchell can't put this away. And he can't now, needed the treble 12. So Mitchell can't do it. Waits will return. Looking for 85 for the break of
Scott,
throw.
you require 85.
That's a very strange 167 treble 11. But now it's double 14. 2 sevens. The stats told us that was going in, and it has. A huge break of throw.
Both of them have been really strong on their doubles. That's his big mate, Scott, who travels around all the competitions with him. Says he gets more nervous before the games than Scott does.
Well, the thing is, as a player, you are in control of your own destiny. As a fan, you can do nothing.
That was the break of throw that he'd wanted. And Waits ahead in the match. Is he about to go 2 sets to 1 up? Holds his throw, and that's the case.
Like we mentioned earlier with the men's quarterfinals, it's somewhat a playoff as well as an opportunity to get into the semis, because you get to the semis, you're invited back next year automatically. And for these two guys who do have trades away from darts, it will allow them to pick and choose their events a bit more in 2020.
135.
Scott a carpenter by trade. Scott Mitchell, he's the farmer. Scott Waits is going to be going off to Q school after this, and the way he's throwing here, he's going to be a real danger.
Yep, see you there, Scott. 266. Now he's got to go back up top. That leaves 170.
96.
Well thought out from Scott Mitchell.
So
Scott,
148, this is for the set. Great first dart. And a second one for double 14. Better hurry, that one's a bit loose and teetering on the brink, and just by the width of a wire. Oh, he was
Scott, you require 170.
any time getting him out, did he?
Did the right thing. Well, to stay in the set, he needed the big fish, and he's not going to get it. And Waits doesn't have to worry about that precarious dart now.
41.
Should be set over 3 at double 14.
Scott, you require 28.
This is for 2-1. Having been behind, now to cement a lead. Big dart, this one. Even though Mitchell's well back, and he's missed it, so it's an opportunity for Mitchell to keep it alive.
Only one treble needed, but he needs to go
129.
the correct route. 19's first. 60 bull is the only way he can do it. And Waits, it'll be second down and 28.
93.
Well, he's had 3 misses. Can he put
Scott,
it right now?
28.
Double 14, Scott Waits.
Yes,
And there
that's
it is.
John, the third
He's ahead
set.
in the match.
Thank you, ladies
I
and
wasn't.
gentlemen. 4th set,
I can
first
count
leg.
after
It is
all.
Scott Waits to throw first. Game on.
Must be the confusion of both guys having the same first name. That's all I can think of. But I don't know about you, John, but I've been speaking to some of the players this week about how they feel about Indigo being the venue, and 9 out of 10 players for me have all said it's great. They like the slightly bigger stage, they like the change in practice facilities.
100.
They're all for it.
And I've not heard too many negatives from the people who've actually been down here and watched it firsthand. And this is a very entertaining match.
100.
Back-to-back tons for Scott Waits. Scott Mitchell looking to go perhaps a notch higher. Nope, also a ton for Scott
100.
Mitchell.
Oh, we're going to get one of those legs where it's tons all the way down. If we are, Waits needs a treble. Doesn't get it.
60.
Spoils the routine.
If you're toying with the idea of turning in for the night, don't. Stay with us. Plenty of twists and turns yet to come in this.
Could be like the 1985 snooker final. It kept everybody up.
That's about 1:30 in the morning. Well, it's only 12:30.
40.
Dennis Taylor beating Steve Davis. Got to be a certain vintage to remember that one. If you're old enough, you certainly do.
Many a darts match in this tournament that's gone mega late.
105.
Especially the 1992 final, which is my favourite game of all time. Taylor Gregory. How did Mike not win that title?
He'll probably
59.
be snarling
Scott, you
to this
require
day.
96.
Probably snarling at his television at me right now. Mitchell needs double 18. Wonderful, wonderful conversion.
First leg.
And there we are, you see at the beginning I said it only takes one moment and those odds which had rates odds on and heavily odds on to go on and win the match suddenly changes round. Mitchell holds his throws now and takes the legs from here on in this set, 2 apiece, and then you never know.
140.
Just got a snapshot in that slow-mo of the deliberate follow-through of Scott Mitchell.
137.
The Mitchell follow-through is a little bit smoother than that of Waits. Waits is very aggressive, tiniest bit jerky at the end, but he gives every dart everything, whereas Mitchell's a bit more measured.
Very measured in the routine whereby he goes and picks the darts out of the board and then slowly makes his way back. He won't be rushed, but that won't worry Scott because he's not a helter-skelter player himself, is he?
125.
When you know you're going to be in this kind of match, you prepare for 3 to 4 hours before, and you get into a zone where if someone talks to you upstairs, you don't even recognise what they're saying because you're too busy focused on the match. And Mitchell is starting to blitz this set.
9 darts down to 81. How about that? What response from Scott Waits? He'll want something. Oh, he's got the second treble. That's brilliant. Superb cover shot. And he's 9 darts down to 102.
What a leg. And now Mitchell's forced to go 12 ball. Well, he's got the bonus for double 13.
Bigger target, but he puts it marginally wide.
Scott, you require 102.
102. This for a break back. Great first dart. Double 16 for the break back instantly. Oh, and just
86.
inside.
So close.
Scott, you require 26.
And Mitchell can't go inside with dart 1. He doesn't. He's got a rangefinder. Now he's got 2. Needs to adjust. And he can't find that 26, and Waits should break back right now.
Scott, you require 16.
Fair to say, Scott Mitchell was not impressed by that double 8. And he gets the break back. 1 apiece, he's 2-1 up. And that's just the response that he was searching for.
Game on.
Scott Mitchell knows that he should be 2 legs up in this set and throwing to win it. All of a sudden, Waits is now favourite.
It's going to be that sort of game all the way, I think, Paul. I would be surprised to see one of these lads race away. There's the double stats at this stage. Both of them respectable.
76.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Respectable. You want to be around 50%, if not a little bit above. But if you're a shade below, that's okay.
140.
Then you have to start looking into the timing of the doubles.
Advantage Waits still, got his nose ahead.
This is a Scott Waits type of match. He loves a darting brawl.
60.
He's not afraid to go deep in these matches and take it all the way. He's got so much experience of coming through those battles. But when it comes to matches like that, we have to talk about Mitchell's final, which he won against Wolfie. It was unbelievable.
158 checkout, wasn't it, to win the match? 7-6. Fabulous match. Great game of darts to watch and to commentate on. It was absolutely superb.
Just goes to show what zone he was in at the time when he hit the winning double. He didn't realise what he'd achieved until maybe 10 or 15 seconds later.
Trying to seize the advantage again here, and this is going to help. Terrific. Leaves 45, and that 148 from Waits now looks altogether different, doesn't it?
48.
He's had a shot at this earlier in the match, and he only just missed it. He gets another crack at it, and this time he goes inside, whereas last time he was outside.
45.
Scott, you require
This is the
45.
breakup throw Scott Mitchell wants. Tops, 2 darts at it. Double 10, this is huge for him. And he takes it.
That's game show on the
Gets
third
ahead
leg.
again.
Scott Mitchell. Fourth leg, it is Scott Mitchell to
Well, Scott
throw
Waits'
first.
mate cannot sit on his
Game
seat.
on.
He's constantly standing up. Can't take the tension.
Looking to serve it out now to square up the match.
Do you think it's going to be 3-3 at the next break, John?
100.
Well, I would think there's a distinct possibility.
Advantage Mitchell,
45.
and he'll want to get it done here. He doesn't want to have to break again to level up that set column.
Bully boys on tour. Always like to see people in red and white.
100.
Is that a Sheffield United reference?
Well, the Sheffield United have just beaten West Ham to go 5th. I promise not to say it again.
It's okay.
137.
I don't mind Sheffield United, I just don't like Sunderland. The town's fine, I just don't like the football team.
Oh, now that's loose from Mitchell. And that's one poor visit. Puts the initiative back on Scott Waits. And he's taking it. That changes the complexion of this leg. And if Scott wins this one against the throw, he becomes favourite to go 3-1 up.
Yeah, in the Jim Williams-Hogan match, it wasn't this tight. Players were allowed 1 or 2 slack visits per leg, but in this one slack visit from one player could result in the end of the leg.
169, he'll want to really tee this one up strongly and precisely. Yeah, that's not what he needed.
49.
Had a chance to really
Scott, you require
get at
160.
Mitchell there. 130, he only needs the one treble, but 160 is doable, particularly with that. Needs another, not this time. So Scott Waits then gets the break opportunity,
100.
but harder than he might have hoped.
Scott,
Well,
you
the
require
treble 3 that he
130.
hit with his last dart has laid him up to an easier finish. One big treble, doesn't get it, so Mitchell should win the set right here.
58.
Well, he's
Scott,
got
you
to take
require
this,
60.
you would suspect. Tops, 2 darts. That should be a decent marker. Oh, no,
20.
no.
Well, if that dart was straight, it was in, it would have collided with the
Scott, you
flight
require
and nestled
72.
underneath. But he pulled the dart ever so slightly and waits to elongate the set and keep his hopes of 3-1 alive. Is going to need 13 and bolt. Bonus for double 12. Oh, he's got next door.
Well, that's a little unlucky.
66.
The adjoining bed.
Scott, you require 40.
40 then. Unexpectedly gets another go.
Yeah,
and this time capitalises and puts the match level. It's 2-2.
5th set, first leg. It is Scott Mitchell to throw first.
It is now effectively a first round match with a 4-set head start. Still great spirit, but who can get 3 more sets?
Game on.
Well, they might be thinking what they've been messing about out for the last hour. We're back to where we started.
It's just good that we don't have a tournament that it's got to win by 2 clear sets.
Well, we could be here till 3 in the morning if that was the case. Scott Mitchell having opened with a ton. There's the response.
140.
What's been your match of the tournament so far, John? There's a lot to choose from, I know, but is there anything that sticks out?
You'll have to let me marshal my thoughts. I've been constant. This might be it. Before we finish, it could. We've had some very good ones. I mean, it's hard to put one ahead of all the others. It's been very entertaining tournament so far, which I'm sure most people who've watched with us on Eurosport would concur.
I thoroughly enjoyed Wayne Warren against Andy Hamilton. I thought that was a great match.
Yeah, Andy was unlucky, wasn't he? I mean, he threw so well, but Wayne was absolutely in the zone with his checkouts. Hamilton being beaten with a 95 average. It was looking like the hammer of old.
Yeah, very good for Andy. Signs are good for 2020 for him. Signs are good here for Waits. Oh, another 180.
Could be another break of throw. 82 needed.
You were right, John, about how it was early. And there were going to be plenty more breaks to throw.
60.
Mitchell can't leave a finish. And Waits to break has got 6 from here.
Oh, what a dart. Double 16. Double 8 next door.
66.
He's done that check out previously in the tournament. Really clean as well on the bull double 16, but this time he has to utilise the second visit. Mitchell is not going to pressurise very much at all.
57.
No, maybe
Scott, you require 16.
a little bit, metaphorically speaking, he'd thrown the towel in there. Double 4. Mitchell well back. Now, you could do with getting this though.
Yeah,
and does.
on the first leg. Scoey.
How many times does he do that as well? Third
Second
dart
leg is
checkout.
to throw first.
Again and again. That's been a kind of a Scott Waits trademark over the years.
Just a smidge.
Must be infuriating when you play him when he does that.
It really is. Because if you're Scott Mitchell on 1-2-4, you're thinking, go on, give me one shot at it. Just one shot. See if I can break your heart in this leg. And then he gets
59.
that double 2 and you think, whoa. You think something that you can't say out loud.
You naughty boy.
So many fans across the world of darts, Scott Mitchell, and a lot of his followers tend to follow suit and wear a bit of that shocking pink, which has become one of his trademarks. It's a particularly fetching shirt this year. Scott's not one for the glitz and
60.
glamour shirts. He likes to keep it simple.
Scott Waits with the break of throw, with the advantage, but only with 59 and 60 with his first 2 visits.
60.
It's a little bit of a missed opportunity from Scott Mitchell.
Well, ever since Scott Mitchell won that world title in 2015, he hasn't changed anything about his kit.
134.
He's not one of those players that is constantly searching for perfection. He knows that he can throw these things really effectively. He's doing a very good job in this match. But this is going to be a dogfight.
100.
Nothing between them in this leg. The only advantage, the fact that Waits had gone first, but this is changing the complexion.
100.
Brilliant. And the fans respond.
Well, both guys are not really noted for monumental amounts of 180s, but there's been loads of them.
Scott, you require 68.
It will be treble 12 again. This time he'll stay up for double 18. Oh,
Yeah,
wonderfully done.
first game shown,
He does
second
exactly
leg.
what I said earlier
Scoey.
on that 68 checkout. He graduates to the right and takes
Third
it.
leg,
First
Scott
time of
Mitchell
asking.
to throw first.
Quality.
Game on.
Waits in a good place to go 3-2 up now.
It's going along at a really nice pace this match as well. Mitchell has been accused in the past of being slow. Well, it doesn't feel like a slow match at all. Scott Waits takes his time at the back of the stage sometimes to gather his thoughts. But look at these
85.
stats. Really solid 95 and a bit from Scott Waits.
92 Mitchell. weights with the scoring advantage as well, which is shown by that 9 dart average on the left of that particular graphic, showing that he's been
100.
hitting higher numbers in the early stages of the legs.
Slips out of the requisite
81.
region there, but he does rescue the shot very well. 10 from 23 on doubles for Waits is good, but Mitchell's not getting as many chances right now as he was getting in, say, set 1.
He's just being outscored a little, Scott.
140.
Needs to get himself a break back, and that gives him advantage here on throw, but he needs the break back. That's what he's looking at on the next Waits throw, if he gets the opportunity.
140.
It feels like every time we zoom into that 60, he's going to get that 180. But this is such a big leg. Has Mitchell got any defiance to stop Waits from taking the lead again? Is that going to be enough?
Well, 195, of course, nothing Waits can do about it apart from get a big score and make that 116 imperative. Oh, that's just brilliant. That is terrific darts. 2 treble 20s, the treble 17. Great setup.
This has got to go. He's going to stay up top for double 18. Oh, just
98.
underneath. And Waits put the pressure on.
Scott, you're
Mitchell
required,
nearly
24.
answered it, but it's set dart Waits.
Double 12. High and wide. Resets. It's a very different trajectory.
Yes,
that's the one he
going for the
needs.
fifth set.
And it
Scott
puts him
Waits.
over the line for the
Sixth
leg
set,
and over
first
the
leg,
line
it's
for the
Scott
set.
Waits to throw
Scott
first.
Waits leads 3-2, race to 5.
Game on.
An excellent set from Waits, who wins it 3-0. Compounding pressure on the Farmy Army.
Be interesting to see what his average was on that particular set when your stats
26.
supporter delivers his little piece of paper, which hopefully will come at some point, because that was a very good set indeed from Waits.
If it's anything close to set 2, it was very impressive.
140.
Mitchell cannot afford to go 4-2 down. I can't stress that enough. Mitchell's brilliant at this game, but Waits just looks ready to get the job done. He's in a fabulous
41.
position. And if Mitchell is going to win this, I think he needs to win this set. Scott and I were having a bit of a joke after his last victory
100.
in the practice area. We were saying, remember when we were lowly County B players for Northumberland and Dorset, and nobody thought we'd amount to anything? And he looked at me and he said,
40.
we've done all right, haven't we? I just gave him a big smile. I said, yeah, we've done all right.
And Scott still doing all right and still believing that he can win this match and progress in the tournament, playing for a place in the last 4, and a game against the man from the valleys, Wayne Warren. I bet he's here somewhere watching on.
81.
I bet he is. I
Scott, you
wonder
require
if
161.
Wayne's daughter's going to turn up tomorrow and lend a voice.
Oh, try keeping her away. If she was shouting at home, you'd still hear her.
Talking about the holiday home.
95.
313. All Mitchell in the opening leg of this set.
Scott, you require
66 now for an instant break of throw.
Yeah, Waits has had a leg off here.
My 3-3 prediction would look a little bit more likely if he could put this away. There it
Yes,
is.
that's game
Quality.
to the first leg.
He had so
Scott
much
Mitchell.
time to work with Scott Waits on
Second leg is
2-1-3,
Scott
but
Mitchell to throw
the
first.
confidence and the conviction of Mitchell to get rid of it straight away,
Game
that's
on.
going to stand him in great stead for future legs. And under this kind of pressure, he can still afford a smile.
It's being played in a very good spirit, this game, and it's good to see.
60.
Something's really made him chuckle, isn't it?
He's a great guy.
whether it's something that's been said between them or whether it's something funny from the audience, but you can see they're both chuckling away. Like a match down the local. Well, not quite. Rather better than what you see down my local.
99.
I've moved that many times in the last 10 years, I don't have a local. Oh, great darts from Mitchell. It's looking more likely to be 3-3 every 3 darts he throws.
Bearing down on it. How does Waits respond? Well, you kind of know, don't you? Oh, just high. Oh, that's an interesting outfit.
Oh, they had the right colour for Scott Waits, Scott Mitchell, sorry. There's a bit of pink.
100.
Former world #1 Peter Manley likes a flamingo. Collects them.
I'm always slightly worried when I see the camera go to the inflatables. You're not quite sure what you're going to get. Flamingos are okay though.
Yeah, they're fine. Scott Mitchell on 201 was thinking 105 plus.
When you say Peter Manley collects flamingos, do you mean inflatable ones? Or real ones?
Ornamental ones.
Ah, okay.
He once bought a flamingo from a Chinese restaurant in Germany because it was very ornate and it was in the middle of a fountain.
I hope they made him get in there to get it out.
134.
141 then.
141.
For the holder throw. Great visit that from Waits. Oh, just the wrong side of the wire. He needed that for double 12. So 76 for a break back.
Scott, you require 76.
To inflate his chances of being 4-2 at the break, he needs 20 double 18. Now he needs double 8.
60.
Somewhat unexpected shot at a double-double. And Mitchell, with 3 darts at tops in this mood, it's inevitable.
You would think. That's a good marker. Good guide. Got to go this time. Oh, he's overcompensated. He's furious.
Commentator's curse. All right.
Scott, you require 8.
I had no vision of that being missed. That one has not been missed.
Second leg.
And it's 1-all. Break back for Waits.
Third leg, it is Scott Waits to throw first.
He's annoyed, is Mitchell. He knows that when he's got 3 at tops, he should never miss.
Scott Waits knows how annoyed he is, and he's quite enjoying it, I think. Putting his old mate under the cosh.
135.
Yeah, both guys have represented England, of course. I've talked about Mitchell being the captain. I caught sight of someone in the crowd, John, who had a vintage England shirt on.
Really?
Yeah, really collectible, those things, from way back.
They've been chuntering away to each other and amused by what's going on in the crowd as well.
59.
There's plenty of right arm in that. The old shoulder went in there, didn't it?
That happens now and again for Waits. Mitchell is trying to squeeze everything out of his ability to possibly get to 3-3.
85.
Nothing in it. One leg apiece. The advantage of Waits with the throw. He needs a treble here. Ah, not that
40.
one.
Even with Mitchell half a dart behind, should be in control here. Now he is. Great first dart. Does need another.
100.
You'll not be happy with that. That's slightly an opportunity missed. Just such an important stage of the match now. Twice the world champion, Scott Waits.
100.
Once the BDO world champion, Scott Mitchell. Both of them dreaming of another.
Scotty 1-star against Scotty 2-star. It was billed as by Mitchell.
140.
Desperately wants another glittering star above that left pocket.
Scott, you require 167.
167. It can go. Still it can go. Treble 19. Not now, just the wrong side of the wire. He needed that for the bullseye.
94.
Well, Mitchell
Scott,
couldn't
you
get rid of
require
40 with
76.
3 darts. Can he get rid of 76? He might stay up top again for double 18. Last time he was short. Not this time.
Says game shown.
Same line, gets the weight right this time. And 3 breaks of throw.
Fourth leg is Scott
in
Mitchell
this sixth
to
set.
throw first.
What's going to happen next?
Game on.
It's an absolutely critical phase, this match. If Waits had won this set and gone 4-2 up at the interval, you'd have thought, well, it's going to be a huge ask for Mitchell to win it. But if he can go in at 3-all, then who knows?
Here he comes, looking for another 180.
35.
It's heating up on the stage in more ways than one. So hot up there, but Waits seems to be handling the heat a little better.
35.
Scott Mitchell does look as though he's sweating up a little bit up there.
I think Bo Greaves earlier was struggling with the heat a little bit,
99.
as well as the nerves. He's had a fabulous tournament, but wasn't to be tonight. Mitchell needing 419s and something else. Oh, good switch. Comes up short
70.
on dart 3. I'm not really sure who's favourite at this point.
Well, it's looking like it's going to be a break back, isn't it? Or looking as if grammatically correct.
Could be one of those sets where it's 5 breaks a throw. We're looking for the 4th. And sensible use of the switch from Waits to leave 170. We've seen 3 in the tournament so far. It's the first time in history that that's happened.
Well, he'll be going for it, no question about that. With Mitchell on a
Scott, you
finish,
require
170 now. Scott Waits to go 2 apiece and to break the throw. There's one. Needs another. Oh, he's missed it by a whisker. Had to look really closely to confirm the bad news.
98.
Well, the good news for Mitchell is hit this and you've won the set. Needs a 60 to leave that double 18, which he just hit.
60.
Hasn't done so, but leaves the exact same out that he hit to
Scott,
get the 3rd leg.
72.
72, Scott Waits. Good dart for double 18. Loves this part of the board. But not this time.
36.
Can't get any nearer.
He has
Scott, you
not
require
saved the set.
76.
And Mitchell looking for deja vu. The same shot. It's the same double for the set. And he hasn't done it.
40.
There's
Scott, you
Sharon,
require 36.
his wife and his daughter watching on. They can hardly bear to look. Double 9. And there it is!
On the 4th leg, Scott Waits.
He breaks back.
5th leg, it is Scott Waits.
And now
to
Waits
throw
with the
first.
darts to make it 4-2.
Game on.
That was a clutch double 9. So positive in its throw. But this leg is so enormous.
135.
I said that if Waits gets to 4-2, he wins. If it goes to 3-3, I still don't know who wins it. But this is a do-or-die situation for the Farmy Army.
100.
It's 11:15. And there's still a way to go.
Could still be that set of
84.
5 breaks. Oh, Mitchell wants that. He needed that 60.
100.
Cracking last dart that was, squeezing away in.
Still in the hands of Waits. Very much so now.
140.
Pretty much halving his score. He's forcing Mitchell to max or minimum 131 to 140. Enormous pressure on Scott Mitchell. He says 140 to himself, but
81.
he comes up short. So Waits is a
Scott, you
huge
require
favourite, not only for the
142.
set, but for the match from this position.
Well, just
54.
a glimmer of an opportunity, perhaps, for Scott Mitchell. If ever there's a time when he could do with a maximum, this is it.
Well, he needs a 140 and a prayer. 180 and a prayer would be
He
good.
needs a 180 for tops. Yes! What a visit! What a time to do that!
Scott, you require 88.
Scott Waits, 88. This is for the set.
Biggest 3 darts of the match. 18 and bull. Bullseye for 4-2. He shakes the
63.
wire, and Mitchell deserves this chance after that maximum.
Scott, you require
Tops
40.
then. This is to go to the break at 3 each. Double 10. Yes, he's done it!
That's game show on the 6th
And we are back on level.
Ladies and gentlemen, 7th set, first leg. It is Scott Mitchell to throw first.
So Scott
Game
Mitchell
on.
with the darts. Race to 5, 3-all.
I asked you earlier what the best game of the tournament was. This is definitely it.
Well, it might not be statistically. I mean, we've had
60.
higher averages, haven't we? But it's just the spirit of it, the fact that it's 2 former champions. It's gone this way and that, playing for a place in the last 4. And after watching it all this time, we still don't have an inkling who's going to emerge victorious.
Well, around 9:45, I did say to everybody at home, don't make any plans for about 2 hours. You've got a minimum, in my opinion, of another 45 minutes of entertainment in this one. Unless somebody finds that extra gear.
100.
Which is something that Scott Mitchell's not really done in the other sport he loves, because don't speedway bikes only have 1 gear?
They do. Correct. Good knowledge. That is correct.
60.
And no brakes either.
It's a little bit dangerous.
That's why they love it, isn't it? It's not for softies, you know,
60.
speedway.
Not for me then.
Well, you said that.
That's probably why I watch figure skating. Mind you, that's not for softies either, because figure skating's very hard, but darts is very precise.
100.
And Mitchell on throw, and the throw under a wee bit of pressure. He could do with a ton or more, and it's not coming. He knows the importance of this one to go in the treble. Great dart.
100.
Well,
Scott,
he
you
had 2
require
darts there,
108.
waiting to guide it in there. Treble 18, gets it for double. Shanghai 18s,
90.
comes up short, and Mitchell,
Scott, you require
this will be a
81.
huge hold.
This will be a bit of an escape if he can do this. 12 would leave bull. That leaves double 13.
Yes, that's
Beautifully
game
done.
on the first leg.
Lovely finishing.
Scott Mitchell.
Earlier in the match, he had that exact same
Second
shot.
leg, Scott
He got
Waits
the
to
bonus
throw
on the
first.
12s,
Game on.
and he missed double 13, not once, but 4 times. This time, he's more accomplished.
One of his supporters was there with a
41.
Farmy Army t-shirt. I think that might be something which grows with the passage of time.
I completely agree. Farmy Army days are very much in their junior days.
100.
That thing will balloon this year, I guarantee it.
$140.
From Waits.
Sometimes you just want to sip on a cup of tea and watch this one,
60.
because it's just been that close. There have been minimal opportunities for someone to get a 2-set gap, but
93.
it was so minimal. Chances missed to potentially get themselves in the frame for that bigger gap, but Just goes to show how much respect these guys have. They've been so tunnel visioned.
140.
Handy from Mitchell, looking for the break of throw. Still nothing in it though. Waits just about maintaining the advantage as he tries to square up this set.
100.
One apiece. Bowman Darts Academy down here watching on.
Welcome.
They're up Lancashire way.
140.
Suspect they are.
If I was to hazard
Scott
a guess, I would say yes.
127.
Okay, 127 for the game. Needs 319s for the ball. Oh, he clips the wire again on the bullseye out.
Scott, you
And
require
Mitchell,
61.
is he the favourite now?
This for 2-1 for 2-0. Double 18.
Yeah,
Fine darts.
game show on their second leg.
Quality finishing
Scott Mitchell.
when he needed it.
Third leg is Scott
And
Mitchell
2-0
to
now
throw first.
with the break.
Game on.
Still smiling. But Mitchell is now favourite. Will it swing back to weights in the next 30-odd darts?
I can guarantee that it'll not be
100.
just played through from here. You're not going to see Scott Mitchell just steamrolling his way through here.
Weights using those black darts, black stems, black flights.
134.
That's because when he goes for the 20 segment, he doesn't want to see a great deal of colour. He wants that stealth effect. And Mitchell the same with the black dart, the black stem, but he likes that shocking pink flight. And that is shockingly good.
180.
Sixth maximum. $13 in total, 7 to Scott Waits. Make that
180.
And he needed that to get back in the leg. Mitchell, ton 180. 134, 180 for Waits. Great leg. Mitchell, 83. That's a miss on dart 3. He tons from there. He's on 121. He should get a shot for the leg in the set.
41.
Oh, he's missed it. He thought he got that.
Scott, you require
And
138.
furious that it just floated marginally wide.
Now Mitchell can line up tops with 18. He just knew that second dot was going in the 60, but he's missed the single.
84.
Well, that was a little bit of a lack of
Scott,
focus.
you
He thought he'd done the hard work.
146.
A wry smile. 146 Waits. It can be done. Treble 18 he needed. Or treble 20 would have also sufficed, which is where he chose to stay.
86.
He's trying to do the 620s and
Scott, you require
26
54.
routes. I think that was the right call, but now Mitchell needs tops for the set. He's got one left. He has got it, and he's also got the lead.
Scott Mitchell.
Mitchell hasn't had the lead for
It's their
ages.
first leg, and
Not
it's
since
Scott
set
Waits
one.
to throw first.
That's the
Game
set.
on.
4-3 ahead. Only one more needed. And it's good night, Mr. Waits.
26.
Just get the feeling that there may be another twist in the tail in this
Well,
one.
you'd kind of think so on the basis of what we've seen so far. The in-play betting stats. Scott Mitchell now 3-1 on.
59.
And if Waits is going to miss that treble 20 with the first dart, he needs to miss it low.
86.
He's more comfortable just sneaking the darts over the top.
It's so warm around this place tonight. I think that fella is holding up the notice ice cream, which has been there for some time, as some sort of sadist, isn't he? Because we'd all fancy one of those.
Is it ice cream or is it ice cream?
Well, there's been a fair amount of that as well.
80.
That's unfortunate.
I think he might have clipped one of the darts actually, rather than just a fall out of the board.
Yeah, I think it clipped the flight, and It took all of the acceleration of the dart away.
Let's have another look, see if we can see it. Yeah, it's a good spot that, Paul. It did hit the flight on the way through.
And when you clatter into the flight, sometimes all of its momentum can be stunted. Mitchell, against the throws, in control. He seems to be doing more right things right now. Waits is starting to falter.
100.
He's on a finish, and Waits hasn't had a three-figure score in this set so far. Well, now he has.
140.
Just when he needed it.
Require 110.
So Mitchell, 110 for the break of throw.
Will he stay there? No, he decided to go to the 54. I'm surprised because the lie was so good on the 60.
58.
112.
112.
Good dart. Double 16. Oh, beautiful.
Yes, that's game shot on the first leg.
Made that look so easy. There was a certainty, wasn't there?
It really wasn't easy.
Second leg, it is Scott Mitchell to throw first.
What I can tell you guys at home is that there's one man who wants this game to keep going and going and going and going, and that is Wayne Warren. For a couple of reasons. One, he wants these guys to really take all of the energy out of the other. And the other
60.
one is because this game, the winner of this one against Wayne Warren, is the first semi-final tomorrow at 2:30. So Wayne Warren's had, what, he's going to have 24 hours to recover?
95.
Whereas these guys are going to have half of that.
He'll certainly be relaxing one way or another. And as we said earlier on, it's not necessarily physical exhaustion, it's mental exhaustion.
140.
I've been in that position myself where I played really late on a Saturday night and had to return Sunday afternoon, and I just wasn't the same person. Didn't sleep well because of too much adrenaline, but 180s have been flowing in this one. And Waits is not giving up.
Scott Waits 9th, I think, by my reckoning, that one.
100.
Against 6 from Scott Mitchell.
Amazing 15 180s in this. It's such a good game. Now he has to switch. 16s or 19s, whatever he chooses.
Oh,
97.
If Mitchell wants to pressure, he needs a 105 plus.
60.
Not enough.
Couldn't squeeze the treble with that last dart, so 129 Waits. For a break of throw. Oh, 126. Goes up to the top of the board. Or does he? Yes, he does.
24.
Oh, that's a miss. That's offered a huge chance to Mitchell.
141.
He's thinking, how am I not south of 100 from 129?
Mitchell can't take it out, though.
$60.
105.
Scott, you require 105.
Loads of options. But now it's treble 15 or treble 19. His last few darts have been forgettable. And Mitchell should
49.
get a shot at either the bull or maybe double 13 again.
81.
81. Looking down the bottom of the board, I think. Double 12.
Yeah.
Beautifully
first
done.
game shot on the second leg.
Hold the throw, and he looked like losing. So it's one apiece.
Throw first.
4-3 Mitchell leading.
Waits can't believe that he didn't convert 129 in 6 darts. He should be doing that at this stage of the
58.
contest.
Well, what did he leave himself on? 105.
105, 24 scored. 3, a 20 and a 1. Mitchell has dodged one there for sure.
140.
And starting strongly in this leg. Only one more set needed, remember, to claim a place in the semi-finals for Scott Mitchell.
140.
Good response from Waits. He started without any troubles, but gets 2 on visit 2. Here's Mitchell starting to see the finish line.
140.
Is he running towards it? 2 140s in this third leg help his cause.
Back-to-back big hits, that's the wrong side of the wire. That's a good adjustment.
94.
Flabbergasted as to why Waits didn't go on the 19s on 303. But he didn't. And Mitchell is going for it.
100.
121's a good leave. Waits could do with a ton plus here. And it's not happening.
97.
That's a decent cover shot, but may not be enough.
Scott, you require 121.
Well, look what he's left, John. He's left 112 again.
Knows the way there.
51 for Bull. Isn't there, and Waits needs the 112 again.
57.
Well, this would be just for
Scott,
a hold the
you're
throw for
112.
Scott Waits, but this is big. He's got the treble 20. And now double 16. Can he take it again? Just
80.
the wrong side of the wire.
Scott, you require 64.
This will put him 1 leg away. One of the 2 trebles in the southwest corner. He gets neither. Only just misses out on busting his score, but it's double 16.
32.
He can't believe he's missed that. He thought that was there,
Scott, you
and he
require
thought he was
32.
just about home and hosed. But now same for Scott Waits, and he takes it. So goes 2-1 ahead.
Fourth leg, it is Scott Mitchell to throw first.
Is it going to go to 4-all?
Game on.
Scott Waits' mate is still standing up. His seat is very cold right now. I don't think he's sat in it since the very start of the match. I think
100.
the Mitchell camp, they haven't stood up once. So tense they don't want to stand up at all.
A real grueling marathon of a match this has become. Everybody having fun.
Even these guys. These are the games you live for.
137.
100 backed up with a 137.
No longer a ton adrift. Waits.
139.
Mitchell will be thinking the way he's scored in this leg so far with ton 137, he can get rid of 264 and 6. He can still do so.
Just the ton.
100.
He's on a finish though, so 225 Scott Waits after 6 darts. 137, 139. And he's in the treble bed again for his 10th maximum.
80. Scott, you require 164.
This would be a blockbuster. It's still possible. Oh boy. Hang on to your hats. Oh, he doesn't get the epicenter.
They're loving it, these
Scott, you
two.
require 45.
Look, smile on Scott Waits' face. 45 then, to make it 4-all. Double 16, 2 darts in hand. He only needs 1. It's 3-1, and it's 4.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 9th and final set. First leg, it is Scott Mitchell to throw first.
Super leg being that they bull up.
Game on.
Up there on the stage, and it would be a last sudden death leg if it went to 5-all, but there's a lot of darts to be played before we get to that stage.
Correct. The only previous champions left in the draw are these 2 gentlemen. 2-time champ Waits, 1-time champion Mitchell. Looking to add their name to the list of multiple venue winners. that of
100.
Philip Taylor, who's won in 3 venues. John Part, who has won in 3 venues. Raymond van Barneveld, John Lowe, Jockey Wilson, Eric Bristow, Dennis Priestley, who've all won in 2 venues. They want to be on that list so badly, and we have added the first lady to that list. We don't know who that is though, because it will be either Lisa Ashton or Mikuru Suzuki.
Well, you wouldn't like to hazard a guess how this is going to finish. Likewise, I think that women's final, I see that as being a very, very tight match.
We're going to be commentating on that, John. Looking forward to it.
Last match of tomorrow evening. Fitting way for Saturday's entertainment to culminate.
137. Scott, you require 140.
I like that switch from weights to leave 164 instead of 161. Mitchell looking to ton up to leave a double. And does.
100.
So 164.
Scott, you require
with Mitchell
164.
poised on tops. 164. Looking down and can't do it now.
Yeah, it's seen as easier to get 619s and Bull
Scott, you require
than
40.
hitting the 60, 51 and Bull. Bends the wire of tops.
Yeah,
But then sneaks it in underneath that guide to take the lead in the final set.
Hold the throw.
Game on.
Great cover shot.
These are the matches that Scott Waits tends to win.
Finds a way.
He's up against it now.
100.
Who's going to break first? Will anybody break?
The Dorset faithful are not going to want to hear us saying that Scott Waits generally finds a way.
60.
There are no certainties in darts. That's why we love watching it. Mitchell only a dart behind.
Back-to-back tons.
He's been so steady in this match, Scott Mitchell. I've been very impressed with the way that both players actually have approached it.
47.
If anything, I think Scott Waits has been the slightly more erratic. He's had huge sets.
Well, that's
he's had sets off as well.
Case in point there, 47, not what he would have wished, and so Mitchell can power on here as he looks for a break. Good dart.
140.
161 after 9. He'd have happily taken that.
That treble 20 has been completely obliterated by these two
96.
combatants.
Scott, you require 161.
161 then for the break of throw. Great first darts. Treble 17 would leave bullseye. He's got it. So Bull it is. A whisker away.
Well, he wanted the showpiece finish to put himself one leg away from the match, but should he have laid up? Should he have laid up? We're about to find out.
127.
Only 2 darts at a double
Scott,
as opposed to 3.
Well, he needs 1 dart for the setup. And there it is, so 2 now at double 8.
9.
Not to be. Has he let Scott Waits off the hook?
74.
Is he going to find a way? At tops. He's not
54.
on this occasion, and Mitchell breathes.
Scott, you require.
This is a huge moment in the match. Mitchell, double 8 for 2-0. Double 4. Yes, he gets it.
On the second leg.
Well, Mitchell now needs only 1 more.
Scott Mitchell to
And it's a Farmy Army celebration.
One of the next 2 legs will do it. Waits needs to win the next 2. I haven't seen Scott Mitchell this
64.
focused since he won this tournament.
Waits needs some magic from somewhere.
134.
No quit in the tough Yorkshireman.
Good old Yorkshire grit. The last 3 years we've been talking about Teesside Steel
60.
with Glenn Durrant.
Another steady ton.
100.
Huddersfield, where he comes from, used to be a textile town once upon a time.
Dare say Waits is not feeling very comfortable right now.
100.
Treble 20 will make him feel a bit better though. Waits has effectively taken the throw though, in a leg that he knows he has to win.
His face looks really
83.
urgent. He knows he can't afford any mistakes at all.
Yeah, there's not too many merry quips between them now.
Well, Waits is going to get 6 from 184,
43.
possibly more.
For the break back. Focus all important at this stage of the match. That's a good cover shot.
96.
That will do. Point in this match, Mitchell was on 220 and he maxed and he put massive pressure on the 2-darter of Waits and he missed it. This time he gets a ton, which isn't enough.
88.
Require 88.
Treble 20 I would have thought. Well, 18 would leave Bull.
Don't hedge here, you go 18 Bull.
And he has. Yes, what a way to do it!
On the third leg.
God, what a dart, Paul, what a dart!
Fourth leg, and it's
He
Scott Waits
thought
to
of laying up for 1
reverse.
millisecond. Then he realised he was playing Scott
Game
Mitchell
on.
again. And realised, okay, I've got to go 18 Bull here. Smart choice, execution, perfect.
100.
Love the sound that makes when you plug that middle piece.
Not too far off, 11:30 now, and it is still on that knife
36.
edge. A match that has crackled with tension.
Mitchell so close, but yet so far.
99.
Waits is doing enough to palm him off. He's a good, well, almost a max in front. Wayne Warren sitting in a comfortable chair watching this, or maybe even asleep.
Not too much between them, either in scores where Waits has the
59.
slight advantage in the averages, or indeed doubles where it's just about identical.
That's exactly what Mitchell
59.
needed to hear. He needed a score from the referee that didn't have a treble in it, just to give himself a chance. He needs 140 plus. Might get more. Might get more. Should get more.
Well, 140 will do him. Scott Waits on 243. A leg he simply has to win, or the match is all over.
81.
Well, he hasn't enough to finish, Scott Waits. Is that going to be key? Scott
Mitchell
needs trebles,
He's got to get to one.
and he's made a huge mistake by going for 19s on the
58.
second dart because he couldn't leave a finish from there. He had to go north after dart 1.
162, Scott Waits. With a 46 advantage, plus these.
60.
Well, the state of the match and what's at stake is taking its toll on their scoring. One big hit you fancy could be decisive here. That is so important.
140. Scott, you require.
He set himself
102.
up for a match-winning chance. Will he be denied? 2 16s to deny.
86.
Width of the wire, that is the last dart that Scott Waites will throw.
68.
It's in Scott Mitchell's hands. 68. 12 scored, 16 to leave tops. This is for the match. And he takes it out.
And the match.
What a great game.